is going on, everyone? It is episode 209, recorded on Sunday, July 28th, 2024. I'm Drew, and hey, John, what do Disney World and Viagra have in common? They both make you wait an hour just for a 2-minute ride.
2 minutes is impressive.
What is up, everyone? On tonight's episode, we have some monthly mayhem updates. We finally find out who Emio is, and to say disappointed is an understatement. And DLC that drew us in. See what it did there, John?
Andy us in.
Andy us in. How you doing, buddy? I had a fantastic weekend. I'm just trying to get that off my chest here. I had a true New England weekend. Went to the brewery Friday night. They had some food trucks. They had a lobster food truck. And when I tell you,
That is very.
so you watch Shark Tank, you know what Shark Tank is. There was
I actually don't.
But you
watch
know
Shark
what it
Tank.
is.
I've never
you
seen
know
it.
the concept of it.
Kind
so
of.
there was a food truck that went on Shark Tank that was Maine lobsters, and I don't know why, but they got backed on it. And this was the Maine lobster food truck from Shark Tank that was at the brewery. And I will tell you this: it was by far the best lobster roll I've ever had. Delicious. Had some beers, some refreshments, hung out outside, beautiful weather. And then yesterday I did the true New England thing. I went down to the beach area. I got another lobster roll, fucking savage. Then we went and played some mini golf. We did bumper boats. We did the go-karts. Just a traditional nice Saturday afternoon now down near the beach. And then we just hung out. We played a lot of Mario Party. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about later. And we just had a fantastic weekend. But John, you are recovering from an injury. How are you doing, buddy?
I've had better weekends.
Sorry, maybe I should have started with you.
I'm really glad you enjoyed your lobster roll, you bastard. Yeah, no, I guess it was like Monday night. I will say this: don't play your video games too intensely. And I think I was like kind of digging my elbows into the chair for a little too long, and I was going to bed, and I was like, "God, my elbow's like really sensitive. That's weird. What's going on there?" I didn't think much about it, and then all night I was sleeping, and I was having like crazy dreams, and I was like, "My elbow really hurts. Like, what the hell?" And I woke up at about 3 to look at it, and it was all like swollen. I was like, "Oh, like what the fuck did I do?" So I've been dealing with it. I've been dealing with it since then. It wasn't too bad Tuesday. I just dealt with it. And then Wednesday, is my timing wrong? I guess my timing is wrong. I guess it happened Tuesday, and then Wednesday I dealt with it. And then Thursday, I couldn't deal with it. I took off of work. Friday, I couldn't deal with it. I took off of work. I just needed a rest. I've been to urgent care, ER. It's infected. I'm on like multiple antibiotics now. And it's not super sensitive anymore, but like, I just have to be careful. Like I have like my little desk pillow is not on my chair. It's like to the left of my laptop here. So I can put my left arm on it. But man, when you forget about it and you just put your elbow down for a second, you're reminded quite quickly of the pain. So
sounds brutal.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take one more day off of work. Yeah, I'm dealing with it, but I don't know. I got to go on vacation in a little bit, so I'm hoping it goes away before. You had the pink eye before your last trip.
I did. That's right.
That's right. I would prefer you're doing like a cross country trip with the kids, going thousands of miles, not to have my elbow barking at me. I didn't know. Is that a pretty crabby?
Are you heading back out east? Oh no, you're doing it. No, you're doing west.
I'm going
west.
Yeah, I'm going west.
I knew that. Nice. Well, you take make sure you bring your antibiotics and your pills and take them all, right? Take them till they're done. Infection is shit. You don't want to mess with that.
Oh, they should be done. This week. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I won't be able to bring my trusty ice pack for the car.
But
hopefully I don't need it. I still got 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah. 6 days. 5.5 days.
Nice.
So we'll see. No big deal.
What else? Anything else going on in the lovely world?
Uh, no, I'm starting to watch the Olympics. The Olympics have
Yep, same.
started. I'm not loving the way NBC Peacock cover it. It's kind of hard to find things.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, kind
I
of.
was throwing I was throwing a fit because I wanted to see certain portions of the opening
Yep.
ceremony, and they just dropped this like 3-hour opening ceremony like file,
Yeah.
and you can't scrub through it or anything. And it's like, no, I want to see the metal dudes. I want to see,
Yeah, I tried fast
it's
forwarding through a
like,
little bit. Yeah, I hear you.
yeah. Then the ads jump on, and it's like, come on. So I actually wrote them. I was angry,
Wow, that's incredible.
but yeah.
It's
So
been okay. I mean, what do
uh,
you have YouTube TV?
I have Peacock.
Oh, so YouTube TV, when you fast forward, you can see like the little thumbnail every time, so you can kind of see what it is. Like I don't have to stop it on a commercial because I can see the thumbnail of what I'm stopping it on.
Yeah, I'm not watching the like NBC
Bro, okay.
coverage. That could like I'm not watching the
Yeah,
live
yeah, yeah.
coverage, but Peacock has live coverage. Like I have it on right now, and but it's not like the network television.
Hmm.
But you go to their website too. They broke it out into chapters, and I'm
Oh,
like, oh,
okay.
cool. And then you mouse over it, and it doesn't tell you what the chapters are.
Ew.
So like, what's the
Mm,
point of having chapters if you don't know what the chapters
yeah,
are?
and Europe Olympics kind of suck for us. I mean, there's 7 hour difference. I'm like 5 hour difference, right? And that's just the worst because like afternoon, dinner time, relax. That's when you want to sit down and watch them. And I mean, you can watch the
Hmm.
repeats in the past, what happened during the day, but it's not live. You don't
Hmm.
really get to watch a lot of live events, unless it's really Saturdays and Sundays. Like today in the morning, I got to watch the basketball game live and a few other things, but not great timing.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't know. I honestly, I don't know what I'm watching right now if it's
Well,
live
there's
or
no way
not.
it's live because it's
So,
7 hours ahead of you.
oh, I guess you're
So
right.
it's like
Yeah,
3
I guess
a.m.
earlier today I was having that trouble. Yeah, right now I'm watching. Yeah, obviously this is definitely not
Mm.
live. But like even when you're watching during the day, you're like, are you watching a replay from something that happened
Well, I
yesterday,
downloaded
2
the
days
app.
ago?
The app isn't terrible, so I get to kind of see what's coming up, and I can say, "I want to watch that," and you can favor it, and then you just try to go find it on the TV. Like you said, you have to find it because it's not organized.
Right. What's your favorite thing?
I don't know. My favorite. They're still. I'll tell you what. Handball is pretty intense. Like it's like soccer and basketball combined. You ever watch any of that?
I don't think I've
It's pretty
seen
cool.
that.
Uh, I mean, water polo is probably just the most impressive thing. I mean, I'm just not a strong super swimmer like that. So the fact that they can just like swim for that long and then actual play a sport is incredible.
Yeah. The synchronized swimming is like
That's a little
mind-boggling.
mind boggling as well. I agree with that. There's some,
I wanna see the sprinting,
yep.
especially the
All
women's
track and
sprinting. I
fields.
think I know the women's better.
Yep.
And then, Simone Biles,
I
of
watched her
course, wanna see
today.
how she
Yep.
does.
Watched that little,
Yeah.
you know what I really got into? I was watched it last night was I like the beach volleyball, men's or women's. So it's like 2v2. And they're
Mhm.
short games. They're only like 40 minutes. So like you can sit down and watch and like get into a full game of beach volleyball. Regular volleyball, I think there's just too much going on, too many players. But 2v2 is kind of cool.
There is like a rhythm
Yeah.
to, because I agree with you. I like the beach
Yep.
volleyball, the 2-on-2, um, and, like, I remember playing beach volleyball on
Yep.
NES, like St. John Smith, Randy Stroklos, right? Like, their
Oh
names are
yeah.
emblazoned in my head. And then you watch and I feel like the Adam Sandler song. I watch it now and like I just like looking at the girls in their
Mhm.
bikinis.
They're wearing pants yesterday. I was a little
Um,
disappointed.
oh,
They were wearing
really?
like
Good
the
for them.
Lululemon tight spandex pants. It was
Good,
nice. It was
good for
nice.
them.
But
Yeah. When you watch real
mm,
volleyball, I love like the rhythm, like when they
oh
do
yeah, the
like the
sets.
bump, the
Yeah.
set, and then when they're going for the spike, you see like a girl jump and then another girl jump and then like the fourth one will hit it.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
I always find that wild.
I will say Olympic athletes, specifically women, have very odd body types. And I just think it's from all the working out and like training, but
Hmm.
they're just whether
Big
like
thighs.
big thighs, the swimmers have these like huge broad shoulders and long arms. It's just they all have small boobs. It's just a weird thing going on there.
Right. I mean, you definitely see these. Have you seen Alona Mar?
Which one is she?
She's the women's rugby
I
player.
have not seen her.
She's just an absolute beast. Um, Like, it's gonna make me watch rugby. Like, she, like,
Mhm.
just trucks people.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's like watching it's basically like watching who's the dude from Seattle, the running back, the beast mode
Oh,
guy,
Marshawn
Marshawn
Lynch, yeah.
Lynch. Like, it's like watching Marshawn Lynch play like a little league football. Because the women's sports, like, watching them evolve, like
Yeah,
WNBA and stuff, like, watching it evolve has been
you're right.
amazing.
It is.
They're so much better than they were. There's some individuals who were great, like, 20 years
Sure.
ago, Cheryl Miller and
But
all
they
that,
stuck out.
but, like
Yeah.
right, they stuck out
Now
more.
it's harder, yeah.
And, like, now you see, like but, like, sometimes these athletes, they go so
Mhm,
quickly, like, they're kind of, like, outclassing everybody, but, like, give it 10 more years, and there's gonna be a bunch of Ilona
mhm.
Mars, but she is just awesome, and the really funny thing is, especially with the female athletes, they're always on TikTok. So, like, any athlete, like Caitlin Clark or any athlete you like Cameron Brink for me,
Mhm.
they always have a TikTok, and Ilona Mar does have a
Okay.
TikTok, and it's just like they just share their training and whatever. They're funny. They're all really good at promoting
Hmm.
themselves. So
I saw I
check her
saw
out.
one of
She's a
those
beast.
memes today, I think I posted in Discord, like, every Olympic event should just have, like, an average Joe person competing alongside, so you can see, like, how dominant they are. You know, sometimes
Hmm.
you're watching, like, badminton, you're like, I could do that." Like, I could return that serve because badminton's, like, a weird dynamic, the ball kinda the shuttlecock kinda, like, slows down. I'm like, "I could do that." Like, I
Right,
wanna see side by side, just an average Joe trying to play to be like, "Oh, they're only hitting it that hard?" You know? Or
right.
swimming, like, imagine just putting an average Joe swimmer, like, next to these people. Like, how far behind they would be.
Yeah, Michelle was telling me today. She's like, the volleyball players are so tall, but I was like, but if you're watching a game,
They're all tall.
how could you really
Yeah.
tell how could you really
Mhm.
tell how tall
It's
they
like
were?
basketball too, you see it sometimes at a random like, water boy standing in there, handing someone a water, like, "Holy shit, like, the guy's 2 heads taller than him." Yeah.
Or somebody would be 6'3" and they're like, they're too short for
Yeah,
this game.
exactly.
It's like,
So,
what? Kidding me.
Olympics, go US.
I I am definitely a multinational fan. I root for Jamaica for sprinting.
Okay.
I root for the Netherlands a lot for like a lot of the skating competitions. So I mean, I'm rooting for Simone, but like I like to root for the athletes, like the really cool athletes. I'm like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
I like them. Like I'm always rooting against the U.S. men's basketball team
What?
because I feel
Who
like
are you?
the country that beats them, it is going to be like it's going to make their whole life.
But that also
You
kinda
know.
sucks when you think of that point of view, is the expectation is you go in there and win every game and win the gold medal.
Hmm.
Like, that's a and that and that's
Hmm.
that's the whole Simone
It's
thing
boring,
in the past, right? There was too much pressure, and, like, especially was on an
right?
individual, it's very difficult, but who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah, the NBA stuff is weird, but
Yeah,
all the countries are sending their NBA athletes, so it's not like an unfair
yeah,
advantage for us.
agreed. I think Jokic was they played against him today. He was on that Siberia, whatever the friggin' team it was. Maybe not Siberia. Serbia?
I don't think it's
Serbia?
Siberia, Serbia.
Serbia, right?
Yeah. What was the score?
I think they ended up winning by, like, 18 points. I think I turned it off
Uh,
with, like, 3 minutes left. I've been wanting to play Mario Kart. So I was like, "Alright, this game's
it's
over."
probably like it's like Jokic and like a bunch of people in his neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It always sounds bad.
Well,
All right.
John, what do we have coming up in the next few weeks?
We've got Star Wars Bounty Hunter coming out August 1st. Is this the
GameCube,
GameCube
PS1,
game?
PS2? Well, whatever would that be?
There's too many freaking Star Wars
This
games.
just looks like the typical GameCube era, like, third party third person type of game. Like, every game was like that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna
I
play it.
really didn't like a Star Wars game until I did Fallen Order, and I like that one.
Star Wars games can be a
I'd probably
little
like the new
hard.
one too.
I do agree with, like, not hard, like, I mean, like, hard to capitalize on and make them really fun.
Hmm.
I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I agree with that.
And they've been releasing a lot of these older Star
What
Wars
was
games, and
the
they all kind of sound the same. Stormfront, Bounty Hunter, Star Wars Hunters,
Yeah, I
like
agree.
Battlefront, because they had an old game called Battlefront and then a
Oh,
new game,
Battlefront, is that
Battlefront.
the one that was like StarCraft? No, what was, like, the StarCraft game?
I don't know. It's probably a
That
combination of
game,
those
I
terms.
loved that game.
Bounty
Did you
Front.
play that one?
No, I don't. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan,
Star
so
Wars
no, I
Craft
did not.
StarCraft game. It was Galactic Battlegrounds, does that sound right?
Ow, I was
Which you
close.
said something like that.
I said Bounty
So it was like an
Front.
RTS game, yeah, real-time strategy type game. I love that. I love that game was fun. Anywho, what else, John?
Au August 2nd, we have The World of Goo
Oh my
2.
god, I
I think the sequel that maybe nobody
ever wanted.
nobody
Nobody
wanted,
asked
but
for.
maybe it could be good. I feel like World of Goo was just so great on the iPad, and I don't wanna play on the iPad, and I don't wanna touch my Switch. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's coming out August 2nd. Cat Quest 3, can
Yes!
you believe it? Remember when we were talking about this game coming out and it was just months and months away?
Yes, I'm pumped for this one.
And now it's coming
C
out this week,
Can't
August
wait. I
8th.
gotta finish, It Takes Two so I can play Cat Quest 3.
Meow. SteamWorld Heist 2 comes out the same day, August 8th. Very
Never played the
exciting.
first one.
And then Cult of the Lamb Unholy Alliance, which I think is the expansion that lets you co-op
Oh, really? Co-op the whole
the
game?
game. Yeah, you can co-op. There's a goat, I believe. Is it a goat? Yeah, because there's like you're the lamb in the game, but there is like you have like there's like a goat who's like player
Yeah,
two.
okay, gotcha.
So yeah. I don't know all the rules of it, but you can play with somebody else.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So those are the games that are coming out over the next couple weeks. We've got games we've been playing.
Mhm.
Drew, I've got a few more. I will get us started. I have I kind of got into a mode because I don't have like any like really new games that I want to get on my PS5.
Sure.
So I've just sort of like adopted for a couple weeks. Let me pretend that I'm like a platinum trophy hunter, like the cool kids,
Like the cool
Solo and
kids.
Hambone, and everyone out there that's always platinuming their games and they're super fancy. And yeah, but it is a nice way to like break open an older game that you played and then do a bunch of weird things. I think those are my favorite
Mhm.
trophies when it's not like a bunch of effort or grinding, but more of like just do something stupid. And it also helps you kind of see a part of the game that maybe you missed. So I had 5 platinum trophies just by myself since the PS3 days without really thinking about it. 5. That was it. And most of those were on the PS5. And now I'm up to 9 because I platinumed Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Life is Strange Before the Storm, Astro's Playroom, and Job Simulator. Look at me
Look at you
go.
go is right.
Nearly doubled. Yeah. Infinite Wealth was the grind. I kind of was regretting it as I was playing it. And I committed a very cardinal sin during it that I feel a little bad about. I bought a $20 DLC
You
that
don't do that.
it was like one of those DLCs where it gave you a new dungeon and a tiny bit of story, like some story segments and some outfits, gold bikinis,
Okay, now it's worth it. Now you're talking.
because the dungeon would help you grind. And I was sitting there and I was just fighting the same enemies again over and over, going through the same dungeon. And I was like, you know what? I would love to play some new story content. So $20, there you go. It wasn't on sale or anything. And at least I got to experience some new story. Was it worth $20? I don't know. I actually didn't finish the dungeon. I got the trophy before I finished the dungeon. But was it worth it? I don't know. But it did make grinding it out more fun for me anyway. So I'm not sure what my next platinum will be. I'm still in a mode where I don't have a game to play, and I'm just, I'm definitely not going to start anything. I got a week till I'm gone anyway. So either there's something I try to platinum, like I'm thinking about maybe Miles Morales, or I just play more Helldivers. So
Of course. It's always
I will just keep playing
I can't
Helldivers.
talk.
um, yeah, so that's my PS5 platinum. I will ping pong to you. Although let's talk about
Let's
NWC
do
at the end.
okay. I'll be honest, mine's gonna be quick and I can recap them all at once because I really don't have much that I've been playing because we all know I've been sucked into one friggin' game, John. I can't stop playing Star Wars Hunters. I can't do it. I have 120 hours into this game. I have issues.
Star Wars, one word, everybody. I just want to point
Star
out to
Wars.
everybody that he spells it as one word, and it really grates on
One
me.
less button I have to push on my phone.
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars. Um, Wife and I, a little bit more of it takes two. Not too much. We need to play a little bit more.
Wait, hold on a second. You just moved on from Star Wars.
There's not much to say. I've been playing the shit out of it. What do you want me to say?
What are you trying
That's fair.
to
That's fair because I
accomplish? Are you just grinding to
no.
like upgrade
So
numbers, or are you
here's the
trying to
problem
do
that we
something?
talked about last time. I've completed the battle pass. I've done pretty much all the side missions and quests. There's that ranked mode, right? So when you play ranked mode, you're only playing people in your rank, and I don't need to get through all the tiers again. Right? We went through that last time, and I'm too. I'm in the last tier, and I have to just win to the like. I'm in the last tier. There's
Mm,
3 levels. I'm in level 3, so I have to go to level 2 and then 1. And when I get there, I get this gold costume that I'm going after. But it's so fucking hard because every time you win a game, if you lose a game, you lose those points. So like you have to like for every 3 games, you have to win 2 of them. And I feel
right.
like when you're in this high of a ranked game, any online game, you're playing against other people that are partying up, right? And if I'm just going in there with randos, like we don't have a good strategy. So the odds of me winning 2 out of every 3 games are very slim. So like I'll go on a little bit of a winning streak. I'll win like 3 games in a row. I'll be fucking pumped. I'm progressing. I'm making going towards it. And then I'll lose 4 games in a row. And it's like, fuck. So it's just every step forward, step back. I gain a little one day and the next day I lose a little. So I'm running out of time. There's only a few days left before the season's over, and that's trying to go away. And then it'll probably reset the ranks and they'll reset the battle pass, and then I'll be sucked back in. So that's the scary part, John, is usually when you beat a battle pass, like that's your downtime. You play other games. I'm still locked
Yeah,
in.
but you're not giving yourself a
I'm
gap.
not giving
Yeah.
myself that gap. I need to play Louis. I haven't touched Luigi's
This
Mansions in 2 weeks.
this is either gaming at its best or its very
I agree
worst.
with
I've
that.
never been able to
I agree.
tell. And it is that thing that I've told you when people say, "Oh, this game's so addicting," but they don't tell you, is it fun or is it not fun?
Yep.
It sounds like you
I'm having
you
fun.
you are compulsed to
Yeah.
play, and now you have a time cap,
Yeah.
and you're probably not enjoying it to your enjoyment maximum potential. You're more like stressing about it because you're just trying to get this
Yeah.
rank, but you're actually not playing just for the fun. And so
Um,
it's like, but it also the
yeah.
numbers and all that is what makes games more engaging,
Sure.
versus like an Atari game where you just play for the score, right? You need the carrot. You need something that keeps you into
Yeah.
it. But it's like this is always the question, which is this healthy or
I
not
don't know.
healthy?
Is it good for
I don't
gaming?
know.
Is it bad for gaming? I don't know.
They're keeping you in the game. You're not spending money on the
I
game,
I
but
I
you're lighting their servers on
correct.
fire.
I think right when the game started, I either did like 15 or $20. I went into it. It gave you a couple skins, some couple crystal things that I've never even spent. And that was it. And like I said, I put 120 hours into the game. If I spend 20 bucks in the game, I'm okay with that. Um,
Did you have to buy the battle pass?
you didn't have to, right? So just like all battle passes, for every level, one, two, three,
Oh.
four, there's 2 rewards. There's the normal
Right.
reward, and then if you bought the battle pass, you got the reward. So I did. That's what I paid the $20 for.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, $20 for 120 hours into a game, I'm fine with that. But I think I have enough crystals saved that I should be able to get the battle pass for free now for the new season.
It's just gonna
It's
keep you
just gonna
going.
suck me right back in.
You've
I'm
you've
fucked.
you've entered the
I'm
cult now.
fucked. And then really quick, It Takes Two. I've been playing a little bit again with Amy, having fun with it. And then, as I mentioned, we've been playing Mario Party this weekend with the family. We did the team battles. We played the Super Mario Party, that was the first one on the Switch that has the motion controls. And the reason we like playing that one is because there's so many different characters. Each character has its own unique dice, and they have the team mode, which it's 2v2 that I talked about in the past. You each roll your special dice, you combine your scores, and then you each move separately on the board. You can pick up allies, which are other characters, and they help you roll dice. And it's the same objective as Mario Party, but the best way to describe it is the board. Think about the original Mario and Rabbids game, John, how it was like a grid system on the map. That's how the boards are for this Mario Party. They're grid system
Mm.
squares. So if I move 12 spaces, you can move anywhere you want on that grid. And then there's certain little squares on the board that have like special spaces. So you try to land on those spaces and go to the star. You have to land on the star space, not next to it, not by it. You have to physically land on it. So you'll be next to the star sometimes for 3 turns because you're not getting the right numbers. It's just a different little bit of take, but it's a lot of fun. All of the team, shares coins and stars. Um, we had a lot of fun. So we always do the boys versus the girls in the house. I'm not gonna lie, we played last night. They kicked our ass. They beat us like 12 stars to 4, and I was not holding back. It was just one of those. Evan and I
Evan,
no,
get with it,
Evan and I
Evan.
won, I think 90% of every mini game. But it was just one of those like your rolls sucked. They kept stealing stars from us every time we got one.
Your rolls
Yeah,
suck,
do
Evan.
better.
Yeah.
Do better. Uh
I love you, but do better.
So we've been having fun, a lot of fun. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Mostly Star Wars, and then a little bit of other stuff with the family. We played Mario Kart. I realized also there was Mario Kart tracks that I must have never went and played. Some of that last waves. Have you played them
Mhm.
all?
I think I played
Huh,
them all, yeah.
that's all.
Mario Kart's a game I always wanna get back to and just
Why though? What? Why?
laze around and
Do what?
play. It's just so
It
fun.
is. It's quality. Even
Yeah.
Mario Party,
I think
watching it,
I'm
it's just like the graphics are so quality for a Switch.
Oh, let's not get too far
Okay, I'm
here,
sorry. I'm
Mario
sorry. I'm
Party.
sorry. You're right. You're right.
I know I'm in the
Okay,
minority
I'm
here, but
sorry.
Mario Party
All right, that's all
is
I got.
boring.
That's all I got you.
Alright. Um, I got to playing A Little to the Left, Seeing Stars. That
Ooh,
is the second
that's right.
DLC for it. It is broken up into 100 stars.
Hmm,
I don't know how many levels. I think there's like 35 or 40 different new levels, and a lot of those levels have multiple solutions. That's where you end up with the 100 stars. So, when they were doing the trailer for it, they were one of the big changes was you are not just moving static objects around, but some of the objects you can interact with. So, for example, there was like a cassette tape, like an old cassette tape deck,
mhm, oh, yeah,
old guys.
yep, yep, yep.
And then you can actually, you don't really like touch the little circles on the tape. You just tap it, and then it like unwinds the spool and turns the cassette kind of into a different shape because now it has this bubbled up tape on top of it. So that's pretty cool. I was enjoying it a lot in the beginning, and then as it kind of wore on, some of the puzzles were insanely detailed to the point where I was like, I had to do like the old guy squint to like look at my screen to see like literally pixels of difference between two items. And I tried putting it on the big screen because I play handheld, and I think that was a problem. So you put it on the big screen docked and you can see a little bit more detail. But of course, you're farther away from the screen.
Sure.
So it was getting frustrating. They did make all the hints available. So you could like get a hint on all the different solutions and all that. By the end of this, I think the last 15 of the 100 puzzles, I was literally just going to the hint book, getting the hint
Really?
and replicating it. And there was even a couple I still didn't understand looking at it that like I solved the puzzle and I literally don't know how that solved the puzzle. So I have to say this DLC was not as good as the last DLC and probably would be the last DLC I buy for the game. You know what it is? It's supposed to be a cozy game, and you're making a DLC and you're trying to make it very challenging for people who have been playing a while, but we don't want something more challenging. We want cozy, and you took the cozy part away. Some of these puzzles were intense. So yeah, I don't like. Remember when Celeste had the farewell DLC and they made it like intensely
Yep,
challenging because
yep.
that's a challenging game. It's like this is a cozy game. Just make a cozy DLC. So a little to the left, seeing stars. I honestly can't recommend it. The DLC was more expensive than the last one too. I can't recommend it. Love the game, love the first DLC, but this one kind of broke me a little, a little bit. If I'm going to be stressed out, I'm going to play a real video game. I did try Darkest Dungeon 2. I was
Ooh, that's
very
right.
excited
I
about
was
that
excited to hear
one.
about it.
Yeah, I think they announced it like the month before, and I didn't think it was going to come to console for a long time, and I was really excited about it. And I actually got to do a first look for the Nintendo dads on this one. And I gotta say, I'm disappointed. I'm
Mhm.
disappointed in it. And one of the other members of our community, Phoenix, was also playing this game. He also bought it on day one. Had the same argument as me. It's like there's something not right with this game,
Really?
and we've both sort of dropped it. Yeah, I
Like,
mean
like worse than the first one? Like, if you had to tell someone that's never played
yeah.
the 2, which one would you tell them?
Oh, the first
Really?
one
Like,
for
that's
sure.
odd, because usually at least the second one will improve, like, life improvements.
I don't know. They made changes to the game. So the real fundamental difference is just like in Hades and just like a lot of like roguelikes, in the first game, you have this like town that you are building up. So you go on your dungeon runs, you get loot, you come back, you invest in your town, you improve the town.
Okay.
We've all played games like that and they have that addictive cycle, right? I don't know if it's fun, but it's
Sure.
addictive. So you're like, oh, let me do a couple runs. Okay, cool. Now I can I can upgrade the church and oh, I can do this now with my
Mhm.
characters. In this game, they kind of got rid of the hub. You're on this horse carriage and you just go from place to place to place. And in the first game, I could create characters, or I guess I just recruit them of some type. So maybe I get a highwayman character class,
Okay.
and I would name that one Drew, and then I would get a plague doctor, and I name that one Michelle, and then oh no, Michelle died. I'm going to create another Michelle, or I'm going to create somebody completely new. Yeah. In this game, you don't create the characters anymore.
Aw.
You start off with 4 character classes, and then you can unlock. I think there's 10, but you don't name them or anything, and you have to pick 4. So you're gonna have 4 different characters. You can't like have 4 of one or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's like I never unlocked another class, and all the time I was
Really?
playing, it was I never. Um, you have to finish a run. I think you have to get through like 2 different regions or maybe 3, and then you get to the mountain, and then you finish the run, and then something would happen probably while you're doing your run, you get these things called master points and you can upgrade your characters. So like you can pick what attacks you want to be more powerful. But once you upgrade a character, you can't upgrade that attack again.
Okay.
So it's like, wait, maybe I want to make one attack 5 times more
Yeah.
powerful. You can't do that. You just have to pick 5 different attacks or moves that any character
It's lame.
does. So it's just kind of stagnant and uninspired. And I was just like, I was really having fun. And you don't have this town you're building up. You have this carriage and you can upgrade your carriage, but the upgrades were so tiny and like you didn't feel like when you upgraded something, you were doing anything that's a big deal. And then you rode the carriage around and that was boring as heck. I don't know. I just dropped off of it just naturally. I was like, luckily I got a code from Nintendo Dad, so I didn't feel
Mhm.
guilty about it, but I was just like, I'm just not having fun. And then if I was in the middle of a run and then I picked up my Switch, I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm like not enjoying this at all. And then basically NWC came and was way more fun. So yeah, I kind of stopped playing Darkest
Hmm.
Dungeon 2, sadly. I played a lot of Helldivers 2 this weekend. They have an expansion coming August 6th. I won't be here when it launches, but I'm excited for it. I'm trying to get all the upgrades and stuff. I should have no problem getting that done this week. But yeah, no, I've had a lot of fun. I've been doing blitz missions and stuff, and yeah, having a fun time with Helldivers again. So,
Nice.
but otherwise, that's it. So let's talk about NWC NES Edition.
Yes.
This game came out 10 days
Mhm.
ago. We did it as part of our monthly mayhem, and I'll give an update on the monthly mayhem in our next segment. But what did you think about it? I don't feel like you've played it too much.
I mean,
What's hurting you?
it's exactly what I thought it was, which is fine. I'll say this: it's a quality Nintendo product as always. Not disappointed there. It's just not for me. I'm just so tired of playing these games. It's the same game, and then I'll be blunt. I have no fucking interest in playing Balloon Fight or Donkey Kong or Kid Icarus. I just have even when you try to make it at 1 minute, I don't even care. I don't wanna play it. I'm not interested. And I'll tell you even this, playing this game handheld is 1,000 times worse because there's no D-pad or anything, right? And it's just
Mhm.
it's not even enjoyable to play it handheld personally. I think it was nearly impossible. You're trying to do a speed run, you wanna be so precise, trying to hit these little buttons and not have a D-pad, you don't wanna use a joystick, it's like, that was even worse. I mean, some of these old games like Kirby, like, that's not like the controls, it's just everything else, I will say, was polished. It was, you know, well organized. It is a monthly mayhem dream come true. Um, but yeah, it just didn't keep my interest. It didn't motivate me to try to like platinum the things or I mean, S rank them, I guess. Um, or collect all the pins. Like it's just I wasted $60. I didn't waste it. I knew I was gonna waste it, and I wasted it anyway. So it was just it's what I thought. It's just exactly what I thought. Which don't get me wrong, there's people out there for this, but I feel like there's a very smaller community. I don't think you'll ever see a sequel to this or even DLC. I think this is it. Yeah, I don't
Really?
yeah. I I don't think so. I mean, it's the same thing for me as Mario Maker. Mario Maker was a fantastic, fun game. But after a
Mhm.
while, I what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with it? You play a level like, you know what
I
I'm saying? Like,
think
it's just that's how I feel about this game. I don't know, maybe it's me.
I th yeah, I mean, no, I get it. I get it. Um, it is I agree with you to some extent. It was I was really excited about this when I saw it, and then I told you as time went on, I was getting
Yep.
less and less excited about it. But once I got to play it, I love the
It
polish of it. I
very
love that in the beginning it asks you, "What is your favorite
Yeah,
NES
that's
game?"
cool.
And it's freaking listing
Yeah,
every freaking, like, marginal 8 Eyes and
yeah.
stuff like that, games that nobody
Oh, yeah, I think I went
remembers.
with, like, Adventures of
Maybe
Bayou
collectors
Billy.
do.
Like
Yeah, right. So I that was funny, and then it has that addictive cycle of you play some events, and then you can buy, like, little,
Yep,
avatars, and you can make that your character. It's just, like, I find it fun. I found I had a lot of fun unlocking all the levels, and I still have a ton of pins that I need to
oh, I bet,
unlock,
yeah.
but honestly, I don't wanna grind it out. I think that just make it annoying. But, yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it. The legendary stages, there's one legendary stage for each of the 13 games, is usually pretty fun. So, like, on Mario, the legendary is to beat the whole game,
Yep,
which is easy because whenever you, like, die or go the wrong way in any game on here, it'll, like, just rewind you and say, "No, you can't go that way," or "You died," and then rewind you. So, you don't have to worry about, like, dying and ruining your run or anything like that. But I've had a lot of fun with that one. Um, yeah, I some of the stages are like really short and
yeah, I
weird,
agree with that.
and I've been telling people in the group like if you want to just brute force grind coins,
Mhm.
the Super Mario 2 veggie pickup is like literally a second and a half long.
Yep,
And if you just do it as quickly as you can and S rank it, you'll get 15
okay.
coins and you can probably harvest a couple hundred in a
Yeah,
minute.
I was doing
It's just like crazy.
the Zelda one, which is Zelda 1, you fight, like, the dragon, the dungeon one, but it takes, like, 5
Mhm.
seconds, and I think that was, like, a medium one, so if you get, like, 30 coins, but it might take, like, 4 or
Oh,
5
okay.
seconds. It might even out at the end of the day.
I wonder mathematically what is the optimal
Yeah,
one, to grind. I definitely went with most
of
brainless.
course.
You can literally do it while you're not even looking at the
Just
screen. You just hold down the button and just spam the
yeah,
B button, and that's it. But I've really enjoyed it. Like I said, I unlocked all the levels. I'm having fun when we do our like monthly mayhem when I get a chance. Trying to get the best scores, and then when I'm done trying over and over and over again, I'm like, oh, I've got 500 coins. Let me go buy a bunch of
mhm.
pins. And at this point, I'm not even being selective. I'm just buying as many 20 coin pins as I can. I'm really enjoying it. I hope they add more games. I would love to see them expand it. I don't know if they will. They can probably do it fairly easily and make people pretty happy, but Nintendo doesn't always do that. So I
What
don't
games
know.
if you could pick, like, 2 or 3 games, what would you want?
Punch
Yeah,
Out.
Punch-Out.
Punch Out would be so much fun.
Yeah.
It'd just be like, I could definitely see it be like win that first that first title,
Oh,
Glass
yeah, it could
Joe,
be
Von Kaiser, Piston
get a
Honda.
star or land an uppercut, like, power
Yeah.
punch.
Stop Bald Bull,
Yeah.
like, Like, I would love to see Punch-Out in there. I wonder how long it takes to sort of put together a level for the game. You know, they have to come up with, all the various, like, ways you can mess it up and when to rewind and whatever, but I'm just like, it would be so much fun. So I really do hope they add some new
Mhm.
games. I don't know
I
if they
could even
will.
love, like, an ice hockey, like, how fast can you score a goal or win a fight, or, like, I don't know.
I don't know if they do
I
that,
agree, they
but
put
win the game with all fatties.
it.
There's definitely a bunch of games that there's like a lot of variants like
Yeah,
they could do, and it would be a lot of fun.
Tecmo
Tetris, stuff like
Bowl,
that.
they could do some sports ones. Sports ones might be a little bit more challenging, but
The reason why I think we'll see more of this is because adding games is something you can probably give like junior developers that are new at
sure.
Nintendo, like a project to work on. So they can add games. They might be able to add some new modes, a little bit more work, but not too terrible. They can probably do that in a couple
Mhm.
weeks and expand on the game. And then eventually you do an SNES edition and people play that one. I mean, it's just kind of right there for the taking.
Eh,
So, and I only say that because it's probably selling pretty well. I know like a ton of
mhm.
people are buying it in our circles. So, but like how much budget could a game like this be, especially now that they've finished this one? Like almost undoubtedly you're going to get an SNES edition.
You would
I mean,
think
why
so.
would you not? So, I'd take a Genesis edition. It'd be fun
J
too.
Yeah.
So, also the NWC mode is really fun. Have you done that yet?
Yes. I've done all the modes. I've tried all the modes. I did the also is that the one you talking about, like, the 5 ones, or you talking about the easy and
Yeah, you'd have to do the
yeah.
5 and then you got the results, which was really
Yep.
fun. Like that was way more fun than I
Yep.
expected. And then it tells you what your ranking is in your
Yep.
birth year.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
that was a
remember
lot of
what I got.
fun. I was nervous. I took a screenshot, I think, of my best one. And then I spent some time today trying to like improve my scores because I think tomorrow is the deadline. And it's like, no, I was like, I want to get a really high
Mm,
ranking in one thing. Which one was it for me? Am I going to find it? I know I took a screenshot of it. Oh, yeah, I got highest rank in Mush
mhm.
Zoom. I ranked number 112 out of 1,590 players. So I was top 8%.
Nice.
So that was a good one. But then world ranking 4,358 out of 56,000 in the world, top
Well,
8%, which is not bad.
mm,
Um, yeah, I think that was my best one. So, but I have some pretty good scores on this one too. So
nice.
I like it. I'm glad I bought it digitally because I want to keep coming back to it over and over, and
Mhm.
I don't want to go grab the cart. Otherwise, I'd be demotivated. It loads up pretty quick. You can just play a
Yeah,
level, try to like get their best time in it, and then that's it. Like
true.
it's a great Netflix game too. So all right. I think we have new Manscaped
We
breed.
do.
Wow.
Sizzle alert! This summer, let the only thing smoking at your barbecue be the grill, not your grooming dam. Get ready for the ultimate cookout season with Manscaped. Whether you're flipping burgers or cannonballing into the pool, make sure your meat looks neat. With the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, fire up your grooming routine and keep it cool with Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com and use the code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Let's make this summer sizzle for all the right reasons. Wow. That was the first time I read
Let's
that, I'm not gonna lie.
go. Did you see that there's a new
It
Manscaped
was
product coming out on
I
Tuesday?
did. I also saw, like, a special edition of the 5.0.
That's weird,
Which
honestly.
one?
Was it like gold
Is it the
special
gold or
edition?
white? I forget what it was.
Keep it sealed, man. Don't
Keep it
open it.
sealed. You think we'll get one? Maybe we'll get one.
I keep looking at the silhouette of this product coming out on the 30th. I'm just trying to make out
Alright,
what it
let me
is, and I can't
how
figure it out.
what'd you doodle? Let me do. Where'd you go?
It's in the Nindad's podcast channel,
Is it? I didn't see maybe I didn't see this. Mm,
and it looks like I can't even describe it. Otherwise, if I could describe it, then I would know what
oh
the
my
hell it
god,
is.
what is that?
It looks almost like an
Oh,
X
that's like
shape
a
or
I think that's like
something.
a shaver.
Yeah, like a bald
Yeah, you know
shaver
how that
thing.
those, like, those little 4 balls things?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
for your
kinda thinking that before,
do
but
they have a
but
face shaver, right? Oh, they have the beard trimmer, but
yeah,
they don't have it if you're like a smooth shaven guy like me, they don't really have a product for that, do they?
like razor blades?
But an electronic version. I don't think they do because the beard trimmer
Uh,
doesn't go down to like a smooth s
so do you think that's I thought you were thinking like it's one of those like circular shavers like bald
yeah, but you
people
could you
can
use it
like
on your face?
it's just a different kind of product than the one I'm thinking
I'm
about.
not sure then.
So, I'll be curious to see. I'll
We'll
be
find out
curious
tom
what this
well,
is.
2 days, not tom Tuesday. Tuesday, we'll find out Tuesday.
Yeah. Alright.
That's it.
Alright. Let's jump into the show monthly mayhem update. So we are about a week and a half into our mayhem. In fact, I'm sitting here ready to post in less than an hour the new event.
Oh.
So we're about gosh, we are like 75% of the way through. It has been a lot of fun. We're doing an event a day. It started on July 18th, and or July 19th technically. We're running through August 1st. A different speed run event each day, and we are giving out $5 each day to the winner. And it has been a battle between Rob Yapel and Texas Trey. I mean, it has
Battling.
been. They're both so freaking good. It's crazy. So yeah, it's been kind of bouncing back between them, but Darth Platty's got to win, so the informant got to win.
Mhm.
The competition is wild and woolly. It's fun to see different people respond to different events. We've done Metroid and stuff like that, and then the event currently going on is Balloon Fight, which is not my favorite game to
You
play at
picked it.
all, but yeah, there's 13 games. I didn't want to like do 4 from Super Mario or whatever, so I gotta give it. I don't think we're ever gonna do an Excite Bike run. I don't think we're gonna do that one. And we did
No, it's
Kirby.
Sight Bike, huh? Why not?
I don't know. A couple of them are just like hold the button and go.
Yeah, but there's
I don't
strategy
know.
with the
Maybe
turbo,
maybe the
isn't
third
there?
one would be somewhat interesting. Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be interesting. Maybe I'll take that back. Maybe we'll end up doing an Excite Bike. But yeah, it's been fun. I'm trying to stay away from the speed runs where I feel like a really good run is like almost unbeatable. There's not a lot of variance.
Mhm.
Like veggie pickup, right?
Yeah,
There's
that's lame.
got to be a max score. There's nothing you can really
Yeah, that's
do
not fun.
besides run a short distance and that's it. So,
You need that yeah, I agree, like, that 20-second
yeah.
is probably ideal.
My favorite one was running through the Kong levels and beating Donkey Kong because it was 3 different levels
There's
you
a
were going
lot of
through
real
and each of
estate to
them
mess
had
up
their own
there, yeah.
strategy. Yeah. RNG is also kind of a factor in it too, but yep, at the end of these 2 weeks, I'm gonna pay everybody, so, like, nobody's gotten paid yet, I'm just gonna do it all at once, that would be a nightmare,
Can I just say
and,
you're
yeah,
absolutely destroying this mayhem. Well done, John. You're doing a fabulous job. I love your
thank you, thank
little
you.
rules that you'll throw in there every day that just kind of curveball rules and changing it up. And hey, you win, you can't play the next
Mm.
one. You can't win the next one. And then you kind of put Trey and Rob in timeout one day because they both were winning. But well done. Well done. The graphics nice and simple and easy. Maybe I need to learn something from you sometimes.
I've got a nice wrinkle for tomorrow, you stay tuned.
Good, because I'll be honest, I was early on, I was competing, but these last ones, as I said earlier, I just don't give a shit. I'm not motivated to play the games, but dear here to my heart is certain Mario games and some Zelda games. So if the right games are there, I might jump back in.
I love playing the Zelda 2 stuff. I really do love Zelda 2, and I need
I
to give
never
that
really
game a
played it.
full run.
Yeah,
Really?
it's hard.
It's just really fun. I mean, it's like when you hold it up to other Zelda games, it's like, yeah, I get it, but, like, it's different and fun, and I like, it was one of the first, like, RPGs I ever
Mhm.
played where you're, like, leveling
Yeah.
up and, just interesting. Alright. Emio has been revealed to be from a new Detective Club game that's M-rated and is the 3rd game in this new rebooted series. And I have to say, I am partially right from last week.
No, no.
Dylan disagrees
You're
with
not
me.
partially right. You no, you were wrong.
He's not in Zelda. I was kind of hoping he would be in Zelda, but I knew that this was not going to be a scary character, that we were watching a scary version of what really was going to be a more cartoonized character, and that part I did get right. He is portrayed much less scary. I don't think the little 15-second ad is like a clip from the actual game. Um, I think they I think they just took the character and kind of messed with it a little bit. I like the way Nintendo kind of did that. It generated
It
some
did.
buzz. I'm sure there's some people that are mad that's not a horror game. You know how Nintendo's constantly, people have these like expectations of Nintendo, but I um I like that it ended up being a detective club game, and even though I only played one detective club game and then I didn't like love it, I I was a little interested. I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll play this other one, or maybe I'll play that second one." I don't know if I will, but yeah, that's it. You didn't play the detective club games though,
I'm
right?
not sure I know what they are, to be honest.
They came out like 2 or 3 years ago. So there was this game called Famicom Detective Club, but it was Japan
Okay.
only. They never made it here. These games were on, like, I think the NES
Okay.
or maybe the Super Nintendo. I'm not sure which one, but like an old system. And they finally ported it over from there, but they remade it. They did a remake of it.
Okay.
And so they look a lot better. I mean, I wouldn't tell you to play the old
Sure.
ones or whatever. They're generally visual
Probably
novels.
why I don't
The
know.
thing that really grinded my gears about it is there were so many things where you would get stuck and you'd go everywhere and you wouldn't know what to do. And then it turned out you had to talk to a character and pick a certain dialogue option and then do it a second
Oh,
time.
jeez.
And it was like, you fucking kidding me?
Bastards.
So by the end of the game, I wouldn't even be thinking about how to reply to the NPC I was talking
Mhm.
to. I would just hit the first dialogue option and then hit the first one again and then hit the second and then hit the second one again just to make sure everything fires. I wasn't having fun because of that, because I wasn't trying to figure anything out or
Sure,
pick
that's
the right
fair.
path. So I only played the one game, The Missing Air. I didn't play the other one.
Hmm.
So I don't know if I'll do this one, but yeah, we'll see.
Nice.
You just added something.
I
What is
did.
that?
I just added the new Super Mario Lego. Actually, let me get the official name for it. Hold on. Where'd it go? The Super Mario World Mario and Yoshi Lego. You see this guy?
I I actually
They
hadn't
just
seen that.
announced
When did
this
that get
guy, right?
announced?
So this is a new Lego, and it's Nintendo's type of Lego where it's different and unique than the normal Legos that
Hmm.
we see. But this is a nifty one. It kind of has like the 16-bit pixel art style, and of course it moves. I don't know if the movement's necessary of it, but it's kind of cool when it moves. The legs move, and it looks like he's gulping. I guess he's sticking his tongue out as he moves. So it, uh,
Yeah, it looks like a 2D stand,
yeah,
but it animates.
$130, which is I think a fair price. It's not, at least it's not like 300, and it's not gonna just be like a cheap $40 one. So it's in that middle range, I guess you could say, for a Lego, but I like it.
Hmm.
I'm gonna pick this up. I actually pre-ordered it already. And October 1st. October 1st, the date it comes out.
There's so many. I can't even keep track of these
I know
things.
there's a lot, but pretty nifty.
Yeah, interesting. I feel like of all the desk pieces, that's a pretty
It
good
doesn't
desk
take up a
piece.
ton of space too, because it is kind of like flat in a weird way. So you
Yeah.
could definitely don't need a ton of space for it.
I wonder how solid, like if you like accidentally hit it with your hand,
Mm.
would it just obliterate in half, or is it
I bet it's
pretty?
Legos are pretty solid once they're all together, but who knows?
Mm,
Hmm.
interesting. 'Cause I have Piranha Plant. I don't really have anything else. I still need the original NES
I
one.
love that one. You have the Piranha Plant, though. You said you
I
need to
do.
get the little
Yeah.
Bowser in the car. I love that one.
Honestly, I wouldn't have
I
bought the
keep
Piranha
him on my
Plant, but
desk.
Michelle bought it for me.
This one's awesome, though.
Yeah, that one's made for you
Yeah,
because
and
it's
it's 35
Bowser.
bucks. It's cheap. Nice cheap one.
Does it even animate?
Um,
Does it have a
it
crank?
does something, and little bombs fall out of the trunk.
It sounds like you're just pooping.
Yeah, little bombs.
Oh, I see.
And Bowser comes out of it. You
Roar.
can take Bowser out. Oh shit! Did I break it? How does it close? There you go. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Anyways, I like that one. All right. What else?
So, was it like a couple weeks ago, Richard Simmons
Out of
died?
nowhere. That guy disappeared forever.
Yeah. And in fact, I had heard that there was a podcast about him disappearing because I have been theorizing where Richard Simmons went, and I was definitely in the transitioning camp. And there was a podcast, and so I marathoned the whole podcast
Oh, jeez.
last
How
week.
many episodes?
It's not that long. The episodes are like, I think they're 25, 30
Okay.
minutes each. It's probably about 8. It's
Okay.
not a long marathon or whatever. And it's just fascinating. It turns out I didn't know this. Richard Simmons had an aerobics
Mhm.
studio in LA called Slimmins, and he was doing that, even when he was super famous, and he was doing that just on the side, whatever, and people would
Yeah, he
pay,
just enjoyed it.
and it's like if it's like going to a celebrity thing, but he's just like your aerobics
Yeah.
instructor. Um, and then the guy who was hosting the podcast is, what is the name of this podcast? I'll tell you in a second. But the guy who's hosting the podcast was a customer at
Ah.
that studio, and Richard Simmons, like, really friendly guy. Missing Richard Simmons is the podcast. Looks like it is just 6 episodes, 30 minutes each. So Richard Simmons is just like, just kind of famous for he just connects with everybody, whether that's a good thing or not. And like, he ended up at Richard Simmons' house having dinner with him and his partner
Huh.
and like stuff like that. So it's like, it's not just he was like a customer. He felt like he knew him. He felt
Sure.
like he was friends with him. And then, yeah, like one day Richard Simmons just
Stop coming.
was supposed to show up and he just didn't show up. And then the next day he wasn't there and he wasn't there. And then there was like a sign, and I think the sign said something about his knee. He just never came back. That was it. He just went off the grid.
Smart.
And it's fascinating. But he was just holed up in his house, and people thought his housekeeper was keeping him. It is a very fascinating podcast. I don't want to make this a Richard Simmons episode, but he was a beloved dude, and it got me thinking, Drew.
Mm,
Who are the most like impactful celebrity deaths that like you've sort of
sure. It's a great question.
experienced in your life?
Well, not to cop out, John, but you're obviously asking the wrong guy because for a few reasons. Well,
Because Tom Brady's not
you
dead
know I'm
yet.
not a very emotional guy. This was hard. I really, really thought about this question, and I gotta be blunt. I could not think of a single person that truly impacted me that way.
You couldn't think of one
Listen,
person.
there's two reasons why. One, I was thinking maybe, just maybe, I'm a little bit younger than you, John. Maybe my generation of people that I've looked up to are still alive. Maybe that's an option. Um, Two,
It's not.
maybe I just don't. I don't know. You know me. I'm not a social media guy. I'm not really like invested into like celebrities. I mean, athletes, sure, I guess, but I don't know any of these people on a personal level, so it's hard for me to say that they impact me. I mean, sure, it's sad, but the way I look at it is right when celebrities die, it's like, oh my god, big deal. Like that person impacted us. They were on the show, they were this athlete, but like thousands of millions of people have died every day. Like, I don't know. We don't know about it.
You're one of those
Yeah,
people?
like
Why do I care? Millions of people
I don't
die.
know. I don't know someone from
I
like a celebrity point of view that impacted my life that much. That, like, the passing
Well, when
of them.
Tiger Woods
It'd be
dies,
sad,
we can revisit this
sure, but I
topic.
don't think it would be like I'd be upset about it.
The thing about it is, and I kind of hate calling it celebrity deaths, but I couldn't think of
Sure,
any other kind of term for it. Is we have like family, friends, and then the people in the world that have inspired us or
sure, I
influenced
agree.
us that we don't even know, right? That like, and
That's
that's kind of
and
the
that's the
group
group of people,
here
people you
we're
don't
talking about.
know that inspired you. I guess that would be more of the
Right.
what you're saying.
Right. I've had family members
Sure,
die.
that's different.
Nobody in my immediate family, but there are deaths like this that actually impact me more than like blood because those people influence me more.
But
And Richard Simmons is not like, I'm not like the biggest Richard Simmons fans, but I grew up watching the guy and was just like, amazed at his positivity and
Well,
energy,
I
and
think
it's
he was
like,
also one of the more flamboyant like, guys of his time. Like, that was
uh-huh.
kinda before it was
Yeah.
accepted. So I feel like it was
Yeah.
also, like, almost like an empowering thing, like, "Oh, look at this guy, like, he's acting himself and doesn't really give a
Yeah,
shit
he's
what
being
people
himself.
think." You know, that
Right,
in the
exactly.
'90s, that
Yeah.
was kind of a big deal.
Yeah. No, exactly it. Um, I've got a list
My list
because
I honestly, I'm hoping you don't think I'm chopping out on this. I tried and tried
I
to think about this hard, and I just
you should ask Amy. Amy probably can
she
give you some
might.
people.
I'm just, like, even thinking of people that are alive, like actors that are old that I love, like Sir Ian McKellen, like, "Oh, man, he's awesome."
Sir
Yeah,
Ian
just thinking of old
McKellen? That's
guys.
your
He's gonna
example?
probably die in the next few years, let's be honest. But
He was in Lord of the
he was
Rings?
Gandalf. Be Gandalf. My point is
My
I'm
wizard.
trying to think of people. Like, I grew up a huge Adam Sandler fan. Like, literally that guy, like, like, listen to him, his comedy sh
His
his
album
albums were
is so
hysterical,
good.
his movies were influential, like, I watched them on repeat. Love the guy. One of my favorite actors. But it
$25.
respect. But if he died tomorrow, I'd be sad, but, like, I life goes on. I don't know. I don't think it would really affect me.
I feel like you're not letting your heart free, like, you're confining your
Maybe that's the problem.
feelings.
My heart needs to be freed, John. Free me. Free my heart.
Play with your cock and balls for mama. Come on, like,
I gotta
that
I'm gonna
album
have to go
was
listen to
my
that.
friend and I would
Me
listen to
too.
that, and we would
Me
cry
too.
in the car, just, like,
Oh my
cry.
god. The respect to he's a fucking 10-year-old who's talking about fucking condoms. Oh, I gotta find
Um,
those. That was, like, before the
I have a very
alright, let's
short
hear it.
list of people alive today that I will sort of be sad for when they go, because everybody does go. Okay, here's my list. I put this in chronological
Oh my
order
god.
just to make it easier,
How many of
like,
these
for
are SNL
people.
characters or people?
Oh, man, Phil Hartman. I no, Phil Hartman's not on my list. There are people that I had a huge respect for or whatever, but and I will remember where I was when Phil Hartman
What?
died. I
Do
was
you
in my apartment
remember
with
where
my
you were
ex.
when people died?
Phil Hartman was a
I don't even
shocking
know who Phil
death.
Hartman is.
You don't know who Phil Hartman
Why would I
is?
know who is he?
He was like the funniest dude in the world when he was killed by he was an SNL giant.
Okay.
He was on news radio. He did a bunch of other stuff. He was hilarious. And then his wife killed him
That's
while he was sleeping.
wow. Incredible.
Yeah, it was just like at the height of Phil Hartman. It was like he died. It was crazy. So, first one, okay, we're starting
Oh
1990.
my
So
god.
I'm like 13, 14
I
years
gotta
old.
grab
I
another
don't have
cup of
that many.
coffee.
I don't have that many. But I think a lot of people my age, a lot of Nintendo dads will remember Jim Henson dying in 1990. This is just like one of the goodest people in the world,
Mhm.
the Muppets Empire, and it was just so sudden, he died, and like all the Muppets being sad was like just like brutal. I don't know. You just felt bad for all the kids of the world. It was crazy. And we still have the Muppets today.
We do.
I think his son kind of runs the whole thing. And it's sad because my kids aren't really into the Muppets because
You
there's
either
high
I
quality
feel like
3D
you kinda
animation
hate
and
them
stuff
or you
now.
love the Muppets. It's a weird dynamic. They haven't really done they tried some reboots. I'm getting off track. Back to you. I'm sorry, John. This is about you. This is about your emotions and
No,
your heart. This is about you, not about the Muppets and me.
at the time, Muppets were the way to animate non-reality into
Sure.
reality. Now we have like
That's
CGI,
fair.
and I think that's why the Muppets don't have an impact like they used to. But like like older people, like we still love the Muppets, right?
Yeah.
Because of the characters. The one now, this next one, 1993, is the one that impacted me orders of magnitude beyond any other death in my life, family or
That's
otherwise.
incredible.
Was when Drazen Petrovic died. He was my favorite basketball player. He made me love basketball. I'm not into basketball really anymore, but like I would watch the Nets every game they played the way I do now with the Mets. This guy was from Croatia, and he was one of the first European players to come to the NBA. Back when coming to the NBA was like, what are you doing? Like, but he wanted to play against the
Mhm.
best. and he played. I think he was on the Portland Trail Blazers. He gets traded to the Nets, and he just became a superstar on the Nets. And then died 1993 back in, I think he was in Germany on the Autobahn. He was in the back seat sleeping with two of his friends, and they crashed on the
Mm.
Autobahn, and he died. And I remember exactly what I was doing. I was making dinner. It was late at night. I was making dinner, and the radio, like, they did their 20-minute sports update. I was listening to sports radio, and they announced that he died. And I was just like, I mean, I went into like legit shock. And I just like I turned the burners off, and I just like sat on the floor in the kitchen. I was like, and then my brother comes upstairs and he's like, "John, did you hear the news?" And I was just like, I was like in total shock. And my brother felt so bad because he was like, he goes, my brother said one of the worst things I think I've ever heard in my life. He's like, "Did you hear the news?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh my God." And he goes, "He probably was going to sign with another team
Oh
anyway
my
next year."
god.
It's like, what the fuck?
Didn't help.
Like, oh, I shouldn't care. He's gonna go sign with the
You would have
Celtics.
hated
Who
him
cares?
in 12 months.
You know? So to make it up to me, my brother got me tickets to the first game next season, because this was during the offseason. It's actually during the playoffs in 93. And the Nets were in the playoffs. Had they not been eliminated, he wouldn't have been in Germany at that time. And the first game of the next year, they had a whole ceremony in their home opener, and my brother took me. I think it was the only Nets game I ever went to. And there was this guy. I know I'm getting deep into this, but like this is the one that
Your
really hit
heart is in this.
my heart's on this one. There was a guy who worked for the Nets who wrote a song for Drazen Petrovic and sang it at the ceremony. And he wasn't like a singer or anything, but he sang it at the ceremony. And they made this little video, and like I was recording the game at home, and it was just like the saddest thing, and everyone's just crying in the stands. And if you go on YouTube, you will not find this song anywhere. It is gone from the internet, except for me, because the only footage of this song is my YouTube account, because I took that VHS
Wow.
tape and recorded it digitally. It's called The Go-To Guy. So if you search for Drazen Petrovic, The Go-To Guy, you will find my video. It is corny, it is sappy, but it's like brilliant. And it's just like, and I get comments on it regularly. I've got thousands of views because I have a monopoly on it. So it's it's all mine. But fantastic. But his greatest achievement in life was he won the silver medal at the Olympics. When? In 1992. Their only loss, Croatia, was to the Dream Team in 1992. So he was the silver medalist, and he was very proud of that. So one day I want to visit his grave in
No,
Croatia. I don't know how I'm
that
going to
all
get
right, I'm
there.
gonna stop you. That's it did
How do you get
you
to
that's a
Croatia?
new
Can you give
level.
me
You hit a
directions?
new level. I'm listening.
I have his rookie card. I have his pin from the game. Like like I could probably fill a shelf with
Oh
Drazen
my
stuff. It's
god.
crazy.
I'm watching this for new video
Um,
now.
for 13 heartless years, there was nobody that died that I cared about. At least not that I
Well, I just
remember.
got you another view on your
Um,
video.
there you go. It's super sappy, but like I can't
It's
watch it
only
without
coming out
just
of
like
one
bawling.
headset, one headphone. It's
it has it has the
the
VHS
VHS audio.
like dubbing and stuff. It's like a terrible recording, but I mean
Uh,
it's a 2006. Steve Irwin, I think,
Steve
affected a
Irwin.
whole
Sure,
generation.
but again, not emotional.
Was he not? Did you know
Of
Steve Irwin when
course,
he
I
died, or
was a
you're
Steve Irwin
okay?
fan, trying to forget about it.
Steve Irwin, like he was like Richard Simmons, right? Just the epitome of happy, super positive, energetic, and then just one day
Fucking
he got
stingray.
stabbed by like a
Stingray,
stingray or
right in the
something.
fucking heart,
And
penetrated.
and I remember hearing it thinking like, "No, you can't. No. You're like you're just
No, like an
joking." Like,
alligator
and it was like
maybe, but stingray?
you just refuse to believe it. And it was like, "No, no, it was like a stingray or a
No,
manta
but
ray
I'm
or something
saying
like
you
that."
would have assumed it was like an alligator or crocodile.
Yes,
But
exactly.
no, no, stingray.
Uh, yeah, that one was just that one was rough. He was beloved.
He was beloved.
Two another eight heartless years, and then this one, because I asked some people, And Beer said the celebrity death that affected me the most was Robin
Mm,
Williams, and it's crazy that was 10 years ago. But I think everybody was affected by Robin Williams. Again, super funny. Like, the thing is, he was such a good comedian, but he was really good with serious roles, and he had a way of I always joke around, but it's true. Like, I cry at the end of Mrs. Doubtfire because he was such an incredible actor. So he can be so funny and then just like show his heart. He was just extremely talented. And but like that was when I learned that like very happy people can often be hiding like a lot of emotional trauma.
yeah,
And ever since Robin Williams dying, when I see people who are super happy and positive, I wonder if they're hiding like a very dark part of themselves.
that's fair.
Because um
Being famous ain't
that was,
easy.
yeah. Yeah. 2015, Satoru Iwata. I guess that didn't affect
No,
you.
zero.
But that I cried. We were on a road trip and I saw the news on my phone and I cried in the car.
God bless you,
I was
John.
just so
You a
sad about that.
good-hearted soul.
I don't know if I would have cried more over Reggie or Satoru, but the thing was like Satoru, I think because I couldn't understand him, he didn't speak English. Like, there was something more beloved about him and the Japanese
Can I
culture.
ask an honest question about deaths of as we're talking? At which
Mhm.
point does it become okay, not emotional, right? So I actually am kind of on your side with it. A Robin Williams, Paul Walker, is that who it was? Like when there's sudden deaths of someone that you like adore and you look up to, and that you understand, like Adam Sandler. Let's use that example again. I know there'll be many more movies that make you and Happy Gilmore too that I'm excited to see. But, like, what about people like Sir Ian McKellen? He lived a good life, he did a lot of great things, but he's getting older. So, like, at which
Mhm.
is there a switch for you when you say you get upset or emotionally attached to celebrities' deaths, where it's like, "It's
I
okay.
I think
It's
it is.
okay now." Like, it's okay. He lived a good life.
I definitely think when they're older and they die, it's you don't it doesn't have that effect. You're like, "Oh, I really love them," or
Sure, you
whatever,
think
but,
yeah,
like, people are gonna
yeah,
die, like, they get to an age. I think with a lot of these deaths, I think all of them, I think these are people that died, like, well before they should have died,
yeah.
and kind of,
Well, I think that makes a big
it's
difference,
kinda
right? Like
shocking.
basketball, you're waiting for the start of next season. All right, here we go. And then it's like, nope, he's not going to be there next season. So I could not me personally,
Right.
but I get it, John. I get it.
Right, he was, like, a part of my life. I had his jersey, I was
Sure,
like I said, I didn't watch basketball until
I
Drazen
get it.
Petrovic.
If Jason Tatum shit the can tomorrow, and I had to tell Evan that Jason Tatum no longer is there,
You you wouldn't give a shit.
me
You'd probably be like, "Oh, well, cool, they don't have to pay his 40 million next year, we could sign somebody
pick up
else."
Steph Curry, picked up somebody else, but
Yes. One other crazy thing about Drazen Petrovic, though, is I think only a few months difference. My best friend's favorite player also died, Reggie Lewis from the Celtics.
yep,
Remember
I
Reggie
do. I
Lewis?
know
You
the
don't
name.
remember
I
Reggie
mean, it might
Lewis.
have been I wasn't bet, but I know the
He
name.
died of like, I think, a heart
Yep.
attack or something like that. So within like a few months, if I remember right, maybe it's a bigger gap or smaller, I don't know. Our two favorite basketball players
Mm.
died. That's traumatizing for freaking 16-year-olds. So, um, yeah, Satoru Iwata, Alan Rickman. I was very sad when Alan Rickman died. That was he plays Snape in the Harry Potter
Oh, I remember him.
movies.
Yeah, 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 yep.
He played, I can't remember his name, but he's the villain in Die Hard. Just iconic voice, incredibly iconic voice. If you ever get a chance to see Benedict
I've seen
Cumberbatch
yep.
do an Alan Rickman
Oh,
impression, he's
I saw the
hilarious.
movie.
Galaxy Quest, like I love Alan Rickman was such a great actor and he was just fun to watch. But like his just playing the role of Snape or whatever, just I was super. He died way super young.
I don't know if that's true.
No, I mean he wasn't like
60
30,
he was
but I
70.
mean
I mean, don't get me wrong,
was he
that's still
70?
that's you should be living another 15 plus years, but
Yeah, I guess
that's not
he had
like
such character. He didn't
no, he
look
didn't. He
70.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
The only reason I knew that I just looked him up, but
Yeah, he played kind of
60, did I
silly
add the math
characters.
right?
Maybe that's what
60, 70? Yeah,
kind
70,
of aged him down. He didn't start acting until I think Die Hard was his first
which
movie.
was in
He's just a kind of a natural.
which was 88.
I
So,
even
yeah, 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, start your career at 42 years old. I agree. That's older.
Yeah. And then, and then in between Richard Simmons, like I said, Richard Simmons didn't like, I didn't cry over it or anything, but like, it just made me remember like what a good dude he was. And I was like dying to know why he
Mhm.
disappeared. But in between that, Tim also pointed out, which I think for us now, is the enduring one, was Chadwick
Yeah.
Boseman. That was shocking. We just didn't even know he was sick.
Yep.
Just I only knew him really. I think he was in the Jackie Robinson movie. And then, but just he's so good in that Black Panther movie.
Yes.
Like so personal, fantastic. And if you have never seen the SNL episode he
I
hosted, it's
actually
one of the
think I've
best.
seen that one for some reason, and I haven't seen many.
Go, go
Yeah.
watch Black
I've
Jeopardy with
seen
Chadwick
that. I've
Boseman.
seen that.
It is so freaking good.
Amy, so
He
okay.
literally plays he literally plays the Black Panther in that sketch on Black Jeopardy. It's
Yep.
so
That is funny.
freaking good. But he had so much like heart and whatever. And I'm sure for like a generation of like Black kids, Black adults who really didn't see a lot of Black superheroes and then got the Black Panther.
Yeah, I agree.
Like that's just got to hit like so hard. But that was another one. And then Victorious GX said for me, Bob Newhart, who died like last week around now. We lost like
Which was
like
also he's
Richard
old though too.
Simmons. Yeah, he is very old. So it doesn't hit you as bad, but yeah, he was a brilliant dude for a long time. Who was it too? It was Richard Simmons, Bob Newhart. I feel like there's a bunch of people that died in the last
People
2
die
weeks, and I
every
was like,
day, John.
"Geez,
Like I said.
I know," but it's usually just normal
Yeah,
putzes.
who gives a shit about them? People saving the
I don't.
world.
I mean, it's like the people you know, right? Like sometimes you know actors better than you know like distant family members, right? Like my second cousin. Like you can't force me to cry more for a second cousin I barely know that
But
died.
there's someone that you do know very closely that probably was close to your second cousin. You don't feel
Yeah,
bad for that person, maybe?
and yeah, sure, I feel bad, but
I'm
like
not gonna
it's
cry
your
like I do
social
for Richard
links
Simmons.
with those people. If Tiger Woods died suddenly in a car crash tomorrow, and please God, don't let that happen because this will be real
Almost
creepy.
happened already. So
I would think it would affect you to some degree.
yeah, I'd be
Would it not?
I don't know.
I'm really worried
I
about you.
don't know.
What's the definition of sociopath? Because I think that's like where you're
Do you
kind
know how
of
many frogs
trending
I
here.
killed today? At least a dozen. At least a dozen.
You are obsessed with Tiger Woods. That would not affect
I
you?
am obsessed with Tiger Woods, but let's be honest, his golf game is no longer there.
That's not
So
fair. I keep trying to tell
it's
you,
just
but
not there. It's just not there. The season is over.
pick another
You
guy.
asked me in April, I'm gonna be back on the Tiger train, but from now to April, it's gone. His game is gone.
It's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I have 2 names.
You're
I'm gonna
not
see if you
done
can guess
yet?
these. No, I'm
Okay.
done, but I have 2 names of people who are living right
Yes.
now, and that will impact me severely if they die
Gotta be a
prematurely.
Mets
All
player.
right. I'm gonna give you
Mets
hints.
player.
I'm gonna give you progressively easier
Okay.
hints as we
Okay.
go.
Yep.
You ready? All right, first guy, um, he's in the video game space.
Reggie. Alright, I'm
No.
out then. I don't know
Uh,
anyone else.
Nintendo
I
space.
I don't even know people's I don't know. I don't is it Life is Strange related?
Fuck, man. I can literally hear the people listening to our podcast yelling it in my ear. I don't know why. It's bending time and space.
I don't like
Um,
games.
uh, Donkey Kong,
Let's name.
Legend of
Yeah,
Zelda,
sure. Let's move on.
Pikmin, Shigeru
But
Miyamoto.
but, but why? Like, what are you gonna feel when he dies?
I mean, I would. It's a guy who used a skill in sort of characterization or whatever skill you want to say. I
Sure,
don't know if he's the best game maker or whatever,
innovator, innovator.
but
Let's use
like
innovator.
people love these characters and have like literally it's their childhoods
And those
practically.
characters aren't going away. The characters didn't die.
No, but the person who made them goes away. It's just it's the Jim Henson effect. The Muppets are still here,
Yeah,
but their
right.
creator and Nintendo's gonna put out pictures of Link crying and I mean, God. All right. Next one. Ready?
Sure.
Musician.
Weird Al.
Weird Al. Exactly right.
I know you so well.
I have grown up with Weird Al my whole life since the 80s. I'll never let him go. He's in his 60s now.
You ever watch that soccer ball movie he's in? Soccer like cartoon movie? Kids watched it the other day.
Soccer
Not soccer
ball
ball. Why I said that? It's
movie?
just a soccer movie. I think it's actually called Football something. Football club. I don't know. You wouldn't
Football.
like it. You probably wouldn't. But he's the main character in it, though.
Weird Al's the
He
main
voices the
character,
main.
or
He
he
voices the
voices
main
it?
character.
Okay. He has done a lot of voice work
But he has.
lately.
He
He's
definitely
in My
has like
Little
an original
Pony,
song or
and
two in there.
yeah, yeah. He put out a new song. He put out a new song last week. Did you get to see it? It's like a polka.
What they all are.
Well, no, he's always done like one polka on an album. But yeah, we got a polka. Had some Taylor Swift. It's all animated. You should check it out. It's really good. All right, let's move on from Heartless Drew here. This is why you're never going to be manager, man. Just gotta tell you.
No, that's exactly why I will
Do you
be.
care
That,
about
that's
people?
exactly
No, I
why I
don't.
will be, John. You got to be heartless.
All right. So this question came up. I actually asked the Nintendo dads this week. Dead by Daylight, which is this like asymmetric online multiplayer game, in the same vein as like Friday the 13th, added DLC for Lara Croft,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh my god! And even though Dead by Daylight's been out for years, and I never would not one inch of interest in it.
Now you do.
I downloaded Dead by Daylight and played through the tutorials and tried to play through games with bots and all that stuff just because I wanted to get the DLC for Lara
Mhm.
Croft. And so my question to the dads and the question I have here is, has there ever been a DLC or expansion to a game which you thought you'd never play, but got you to play the game? And
They had some good answers, by the way. They used up a lot of good answers. One that really stuck out that I think Jesse said it was that Fortune Street game. Was it back on like the Wii or the GameCube or something? It's
yeah, who was in it?
with
Was it
Mario
Link
and
or
a couple other maybe Donkey Kongs, but it was Bowser maybe. But it was just like a weird Monopoly style, but it's and they just randomly added them in there.
yeah, it kind of looks like a shovelware game.
Yeah, that one is a weird one.
You're like,
Do you have any other like major big ones that jumped out?
the only one that came to me was like from a year or two ago was the when they announced that Dead Cells Return to
Yes,
Castlevania. Now I
big
had
crossover.
played Dead Cells, but you and I had not played that game for
And then you went
years.
back in hardcore.
And then I went back in and was just hardcore, and I played it all over from the beginning. I got rid of my
Mhm.
save data, and it's still a game that I'll jump back into every
So
now
that's
and
what you
again.
do.
But Return to Castlevania finally kind of got me back into that
I
one.
would also say Smash Brothers did a really good job at this, right? And they always do with their characters, right? But
Hmm.
they go such a broad audience that it's trying to bring other people in as well. I mean, besides Smash being Smash, right? But you get a random character that you're just in love with. Now all of a sudden you want to try playing this game. Um,
I am sure they get a lot of like first
oh
time
yeah, based on
players just
characters.
with one character.
The other thing I'll say is
Yeah.
not necessarily exactly related to your question, but I would, you know me, once like there's a gap between a game and then the DLC, I kind of just always never go back to the DLC because I've moved on from that game, right? Um, but one game I remember that we waited for forever that I did go back to and play when the DLC came out was the Cuphead Delicious Last Course. That was something
Hmm.
that like was 5 year gap. I feel like felt like forever, and it definitely sucked me back in. So though it might not have been like a new edition, but it was definitely a new DLC that made me go back and play the game. Where a lot of the times I just kind of skip it. I still haven't played the new Avatar DLC because it's like, do I want to go boot up the Lunar again and pay for the Ubisoft subscription and then? It's like
Mhm.
relearn the controllers. Um,
DLC doesn't yeah, sometimes, DLC will often kinda get me back in, but other times too, I'm like, "I'm good." I mean,
yeah,
even that, like, Infinite Wealth DLC, it's like, yeah, it was a new dungeon, but the format of it was exactly the same as the other
yeah,
dungeons. They just made a few extra cutscenes and patched together a little bit of a story that didn't really change
yep,
anything. Granted, I haven't seen the last one, but
yep,
and then you sell it, and like it's one of those things where we can make an extra $20 on the game, and by putting in like 3 weeks of
yeah.
work.
The other big one was what Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torner, the Country was
Hmm.
probably one of the best. But I think there's a big dynamic, right, where you look at games like that, for example, or even the Cuphead one. The Torna one was what, like a 15 to 20 hour, pretty much separate game, but they just used the same game engine, the same story, the same characters, versus something like the Castlevania one that you brought up, where now you have to
Hmm.
kind of have the original game, you have to load it up, you have to go find the DLC and play it, right? I think there is a big thing, there's a big rationale to go back to a game. If it's just like, it's almost like you're making a sequel, but you're not. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that, at least
Right.
for me, maybe I'm speaking just for myself, but that draws me in a lot more than just going back and playing like getting into a game for a new character or like a new level. Do you know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
think that independent
Yeah.
DLC is a huge part.
Yeah. The same. Except for that delicious last course. The only problem I had was I didn't know how to freaking play for like an hour because Cuphead was like 4 or 5 years
Oh,
prior that I
yes,
had
I know what
played
you're
it.
saying. Yeah.
I was just like,
Yep.
oh.
But I think there was like nothing else out at the time, and we were desperate for new games too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a painful first hour, like, and then eventually you started to get a feel for it
Mhm.
again, but
Let me
that was
turn the
pretty rough.
question to you on this though. Like, what is there a game that you would love to? And it kind of leads into one of our follow up questions. But like, is there something that you want to go back to, but you would need something else? Maybe like what's like a or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, there's always tons of games.
hmm,
Yeah, like Tears of the Kingdom. I'd love to get back into
yeah,
Tears of the Kingdom. Because
but you
that's a
need a.
game I want to replay, and I keep getting close to just
Ugh.
restarting and playing it again, but it's a lot of hours, and it's like, man, but it like sometimes if you put in like so here's a good example,
Yeah,
Dredge. I really enjoyed my time with Dredge. It wasn't a long game. It was like under
sure,
10 hours, but like I really enjoyed my time with Dredge. And they had the Pale Reach DLC, but I didn't have the
okay,
DLC. Or maybe I did. I don't remember, but I didn't play it. And I got kind of a bad ending in the game because it was weird or
yeah,
whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it there. I couldn't fix it anyway. And I said, one day I'm gonna replay the game and then I'm gonna play the Pale Reach when I do
okay.
that. And now there's a second DLC. So I am excited. One day I'm going to replay the game,
But see, you have
and
to
the
replay it.
grind of having to replay it sort of is alleviated by the fact that I know that there will be new
Yeah,
content I will
but
also be
that I think
enjoying.
that's poor design, right? Let me give an example. If The Witcher 3 or even Tears of the Kingdom just said, "We're gonna come out with this DLC that it takes place on an island, and on this island, you start from level 1, and you have nothing, and there's like a 5-hour little storyline, maybe a couple little side quests, and you're just contained on this new area, this new island, and that's it." Like, that to me is more entertaining than going back and getting wrapped back into the original story of a game or the
Mhm.
original land of a game and having to remember everything, like tutorialize myself in the new little island. Like, it's like a version, it's not a sequel, it's in between that. That draws me in. Torner was a good example of that. You just went in and you played an independent game with the same
Yeah.
characters, the same universe. That's what DLC is perfect for me. Because to wrap yourself back into a game that you haven't touched in a year or two, and it's really only for like a little bit extra, I don't know. That just doesn't get my attention.
That's what makes roguelikes pretty good
Agreed.
too. Is like you're starting a fresh run, you don't have like some game state
Yep.
saved. Like I can dive into Slay the Spire and maybe my muscle memory just needs a little bit of tuning, but like within minutes
But
I'm like back in
yep.
it.
Or if you just said I'm gonna go
Um
play a new character, so it's not like you have to memorize everything. You're starting fresh with a new character.
exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
like you don't have any bad habits or anything. Agreed.
Right, yeah, yeah, I think it just depends on the game. Breath of the Wild had DLC, and I think you use your same character,
You did use your same character,
and,
yep.
you have a pretty high level character. Elden Ring, the DLC recently, it was not standalone, but they did something interesting. So even though you still use your character, so some people like Solo has like a character that's like level 3, 4, 500, something insane. But like it didn't matter because the leveling up in the DLC, and I haven't
Mhm,
played it yet, but the leveling up in the DLC was based on something else. So even if you had a super high level character,
'kay,
you really need to level up in this other thing
sure.
to have a
That
chance.
that see, that's
And it even led to confusion with people like having a really hard time because they just assumed I'm very high leveled. What's the problem? So it wasn't standalone, but in for all intents and purposes, it kind of
yeah,
is
yeah.
as well.
Huh.
I think it depends on every game. And the length of that game. Like, yeah. So do I want to replay Tears of the Kingdom? Yes. Is just thinking about finding
It's just not as
all
fun,
the
like, when you
locations and
explore and you come across new puzzles and new things, like, it's just that's the fun of those games. Like, it's seeing
mhm,
it for the
yeah,
first time. It's not
right.
it's it really is fun or the same of, like, "What's around that corner? Oh, I bet around that corner. There's nothing over there." But yeah,
Once you've 100%ed a game, like I usually will not replay a
that's fair.
game unless it's something specific and short. But the problem with Tears of the Kingdom is like I have a ton of quests I haven't found yet.
So
So I could start my save file and just continue from
but
there.
why not?
But
Why not do
I
that?
want to walk. I want to walk through the cave with Zelda in the beginning. It's so iconic to me. I want to do that
Okay,
again,
well,
and I can't.
just start another save file, do that, and then turn it off and go back to your other game.
I want to do the plateau in the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom. I thought it was so well done, and I want them to teach me Ultra Hand again. I want to drop down into the world and like land in a different place and see what happens. Like I don't know.
The same shit.
Um, I completely uncover everything in the dark areas and stuff. I don't know, but but then you'd probably stumble into a new quest that you've never done before, and
I'm
that
not
would
even
be
sure I
cool.
would remember if it was new or not.
Some of them you would, some of them you maybe you did, but you
Yeah,
forgot. Doing the shrines was so fun. I want to do all the shrines again. Like that. That's the reason why I would restart the game. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it just depends on the length. I think the shorter games are easier to sort of replay than the longer games. I could never play The Witcher again. Like I'm done with The Witcher 3. I can't. I completely maxed out
Yeah.
that game. I could not possibly play The Witcher 3 again. Could I do a Skyrim though? There's probably a ton of stuff I've never seen in Skyrim. Could do something like
Skyrim
that.
doesn't really hold up well.
Yeah. It's not bad and it's first person, but it's basically there's still like a ton of stuff like maybe you didn't do or you use a certain character and you can find. But yeah, I will say that I have deleted Dead by Daylight. I didn't find the gameplay very compelling. You basically had to like run away from a serial
That's the
killer
whole game? Is it
and
third
you
person?
had to you had to fix power generators, and when you fixed 5 power generators you could open the door and escape. There's probably different other game configurations, but that's the core one that you kind of tutorialize on, and he was just so uncompelling, and I was like, I can spend $5 and play the Lara Croft chapter, and that would unlock the character, and then I could play online as Lara Croft, different versions of her too.
Hmm.
But no, I don't want to play this game, so
Oh,
it's
they
like
did
it's
a
just taken
lot
away
of
from like
IPs in
other
here,
ones.
huh? They did, like, Stranger Things, Scream,
Yeah, they did a lot,
Halloween.
and none of it ever compelled me. And I actually thought the Friday the 13th concept was interesting because we've seen the
Yeah,
movies.
Chucky, yeah.
Dead by Daylight is similar, and I think it came out first. I think Dead by
Oh,
Daylight came
before
out,
that
and
Friday the
then
13th game?
yeah, I think Friday the 13th was inspired because Dead by Daylight was doing so well.
Huh.
But Dead by Daylight was what I had heard a much better game. But I played it, and yeah, 2016. It's been around for a
Hmm.
while. But I played it and was just like, not.
Not for you.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't gotten
Yeah.
far enough in the game or whatever. But if I'm going to play an online game, it's the same with you. If I'm going to play an online game, I'm going to play Helldivers. You're going to play Star Wars Hunters. I don't need a
You
second
can't.
one. I'm
You
like,
gotta
I'm gonna
keep the
stick to
one. You
this one.
gotta stay one.
Yeah, this game brings me tremendous joy. I don't need
Yeah,
a
I
second
agree
one,
with you.
so I'm good to go. So yeah, I
Hmm.
deleted it and whatever. Didn't buy the Lara Croft DLC, but if the game was just a little bit better, I probably would
Yeah.
have. But not my jam. That's
Hmm.
it.
Interesting.
All right, that's a show. Uh, the Olympics are going live, even though they're what time is it in France right now?
It's 7 hours for
1 in the
you?
morning,
Are
is
we
it?
answering the Darth Platypus question?
Oh, we got 2 questions. All right, let's go to questions from the listeners. Darth Platy
Mm,
writes, if you could connect 2 game franchises into a shared
mhm.
universe, which would you pick? And I'll be honest, I haven't put any thought
Why
into
have
this
you?
one yet.
I have a couple. I'm gonna start off with
Hmm.
Zelda and Xenoblade. I want those 2 worlds to combine. I wanna be like Rex summons the help of Link and Zelda to come help fight for whatever reason,
Hmm.
and they kinda combine forces. Either world, maybe they go to Hyrule, I don't know. But I think the 2 of them could be epic. I think it would be an epic adventure. Um, I also went with Darksiders, one of
I
my
mean,
favorites, as you know, and Hades. And I know they're very similar, but I'd like to see the crossover, right? Because they're both kind of like Darksiders is very like apocalypse, the horsemen, that whole Bible portion of I don't really know, but like the world's coming to an end type thing. Where Hades is a little
mhm.
bit more Greek mythology, but it's also the undead underworld. And I'd like to see how someone more creative than I am and how they innovate the two. And then my last one, not necessarily two franchises, they are, but I'm thinking very specifically. I want to see like Paper Mario, but Paper Zelda.
I think there was like a fake leak on that
Really?
one. But yeah, like a paper Zelda game. I totally agree. That would be really fun to
Hmm.
do. But I think papering a lot of games would be really cool. Paper Metroid, like I think it's just such a cool art direction. Um, they even did Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi RPG.
Hmm. Oh man, I'm looking at all
There you
this Paper Zelda things and it looks amazing. A lot of
I
fan
know,
art
right?
type
Like
stuff,
it's
but it looks awesome.
they could very well do it someday as well. They're doing toys unless they decide, oh, we don't want to ruin the paper thing.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's hard in my head to like combine worlds because I think of games and genres. Like I would love to see Splatoon used in some different game genres.
Okay.
Um, and like so I'd want to see like in maybe an action RPG kind of Splatoon or just something else with Splatoon besides just Splatoon. They kind of did that with that roguelike uh
Hmm.
second order no, special order with
Side
special
order.
order side order. But I definitely want to see Splatoon in more things. I hope they're building Splatoon in more things. And I wanted to see like Horizon series as like a Monster Hunter game. I mean, it kind of has those elements already, but like it's really structured, not in an adventure, but specifically a Monster Hunter game. In fact, the idea is so perfect. I just know they're building it. Like I know they're building projects. You have to build a Monster Hunter game in the Horizon universe. But I don't know. I guess that would be it. I guess that is right. Combining two
That
universes.
works.
It's not really a Monster Hunter universe I want. It's a Monster Hunter behavior that I want. But like, what about the Horizon universe and you bring Tomb Raider into it because
Okay.
it's two hot ladies with doing archery,
I could get
right?
down on that.
Maybe Aloy needs help and I need help. Who can help us? And it's like Lara Croft
Yeah,
is
or
here.
maybe there's a scene where like they scissor or something.
I mean, that could be
That could
DLC.
be unlockable.
I could purchase.
Unlockable.
That'll be the DLC that'll get you to play those games.
Uh,
But like that would be kind of the I'd also like to see Baldur's Gate, like a Baldur's Gate style
okay.
game with IP that I know. Although I couldn't tell you which. But like, I love Baldur's Gate, but I don't really
That's
know
turn-based?
the characters. It is like
But
turn-based battle, yeah.
when I was Zelda,
But
like
I think it's more about the branching storylines, and
they kinda jump
it,
around?
it's kind of a narrative game, but it's beyond a narrative game. It's a full kind of RPG.
Okay,
But like that narrative stuff, like, maybe if you have the Zelda world in it
sure.
or something like that, the Mario world where you can have these like serious consequences. Obviously, the content is way too mature for Mario as it is. But wouldn't it be cool if you could make decisions and Luigi marries Peach and that sort of thing? Like,
Hmm, alternate
that'd be kind of
universe,
neat.
interesting.
I mean, the original Mario fans are older now.
Yeah, why not?
We can all handle it, I guess.
Nice.
That's a good question. Thanks, Darth Bloody. Beer Cerveza asks, the Nintendo dads recently held the table with all four dads in
Wow.
attendance. Have you guys considered hosting a virtual hangout for the Dads After Dark fan base?
I mean, I just know we haven't. I mean, is there an audience for that?
I mean, I feel like that's like saying like Taylor Swift did a concert and millions of people showed up. Have you considered doing a concert? Like the Nintendo dads are the stars of the show,
It's
man.
it's fair. We're
We're a
has
side
been.
act, right? We're a side hustle.
I mean, I I don't know. Would people show up?
We talk about girls lawn mowing.
We do. We do.
Well, Beer would show
Maybe
up,
Bear
maybe.
Bear would show up.
Isn't he back in the States
He is
now?
back in the States. I don't know where
Yeah.
about, but
That wasn't like a dream, but um no, I haven't really considered it, but we've done Let's Play
no, let's
stuff
I mean,
and
well, I'll say this, even when we did,
whatever.
like, the Extra Life and stuff, though, we did get a decent amount of people support and watch and participate.
Yeah. Yeah. It will just jump in on a table one day and
That's past my bedtime. We'd have to make this a little bit
just
earlier in the
turn it
night.
in. Yeah, I don't really jump on the table because we get a chance to
Yeah,
talk, and I want other people to have chances to
agreed.
talk. So, there's no sense. You don't want to hear my opinion. It's on the
Bear
show.
Bear, if you think there's a selling point in us having one, we'll consider it, but
I think he just wants us to give away eShop cash on it too.
probably people use us.
I have no problem talking to people,
Yeah, it's not about that.
this is kind of it's the Nintendo dads family, not the Dads After Dark family.
We're just here for the
We're
ride.
the weird
We're here for the fun.
we're the weird cousins. That's right. And that is a
That is a
show.
show.
That is a show this time.
That's it. That's all we got.
All
That's all I
right.
got. That's all I got. We got some games coming up. My goal is to play something besides Star Wars Hunters by next show, John. I need to beat Luigi's Mansion and get back into this.
Oh, you haven't played You haven't beaten
No,
Luigi's
I'm
Mansion
still in
yet?
World 4. I gotta get my shit together.
I think you're just in this like
I'm in
addiction
addiction mode.
phase. Yeah.
Maybe after the new season starts, I'll actually fall. I missed it, and maybe I'll just kind of slow down a little bit. No, they're talking about the new
if
character and
you
new
don't
maps. That's gonna be
if you don't hit your goal, it might cause you to be like, well, I wasn't able to do what I want to do in season 1, so forget
maybe.
season 2, right? Like that's the kind of thing that
If I
could
don't, I
affect
need
you.
to
But
join a team and like plan. That's the only way I'm gonna get the top ranked. Like you can't just get randos and win matches at this point. It's the players are too good.
right.
You win one or twosies here and there, but you're not gonna go on like a streak of 5 or 6 wins in a row. So that's it. That's all I got. Good stuff.
That's it. As I say goodbye and good night, I just want to say I remembered one other person that if they died at an early age, it'd be very sad, and that is Bob the Cap Catcher. That's right, Bob the Cap Catcher. Look it up. Good night, dads.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available. And if you're using Apple or Spotify, please do consider leaving us a 5-star review. Pretty please? Find us on Threads, Instagram and TikTok at @NDadsAfterDark, or you can leave us a voicemail Check the episode notes for details. Join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in the Dads After Dark show channels. That's where we chat and participate in monthly Mayhem contests, game tournaments, and other fun activities. Get access by joining the Nintendo Dads Patreon or by subscribing to their Twitch channel. Check out our Substack at dadsafterdarkshow.substack.com for articles, links to social media, and our merch store. Fancy a t-shirt, perhaps? A big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's theme music. Check out his YouTube channel to hear other awesome Nintendo cover tunes. That's all for now. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.